Put the pedal to the metal with me. Put the pedal to the metal with me.
You ain't never seen nothing so rugged at 90. With the cops behind me, the boy is grinding. Keep the cups, enjoy your donuts, sir, you ain't gonna find me. It's not likely the brains are now out. Chasing the ghost with no brakes. Slow down, 100 proof octane, ready to drink. Stop playing, I'm hot, man. Give me that piece of it. The animals crest soon, leaving in the dust with a pack in the jet food. Cool quick, get them up, better with pet food. No brakes, no lane, we see it, cool, huh? Get them all fat, legs in the chrome set, trick down, hopping like a cruise in the chrome set. Pop your ego when the safety pit, take the back seat, now let the games begin, yeah. Get ready, get set, let's roll. Roll rubber in the bit of petrol. Red, yellow, hit green and gold. Sweet and slow.
We got cardiac hooked to remote controls. Hit a button that'll smoke any whip he rolls. We got cardiac hooked to remote controls. Put the pedal to the metal with me.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of GenVamp TV. Now for this episode, I'm going to be reviewing Godzilla 2014. Before I start this review, I want to say that this may contain spoilers. With that being said, on with the review. Godzilla 2014. Here is a reboot of the original Japanese kaiju films that started in 1954. This movie is an attempt to make up for the absolute failure that was Godzilla in 1998. For more about that, see Nostalgia Critic's review of it. There's a link in the description. The setup for this film is pretty easy. Godzilla wages war, all while opposing forces and his origins go along with it. One thing that stands out from this film is the impressive visuals, especially when Godzilla's on screen. Unfortunately, that's all that stands out, aside from action scenes that are destructive, slow, and poorly executed. One thing to note is that the style of this movie is similar to the one shown in the Toho Godzilla films. While this was cool back when the original Japanese movies came out, it unfortunately didn't work with this reboot. Monsters depicted in monster movies should be able to at least move at a decent pace, especially when fighting. The monsters in this movie, however, move at a snail's pace, and they're hardly shown on screen for very long. Every time Godzilla or the monsters are shown on screen, the movie always cuts away to something else after a small bit of action is shown. It mainly cuts away to the military, news reports, or something of no interest. That and the enemy monsters look really lame and generic when compared to Godzilla's old monster foes. Seriously, they look like they're related to the monster from Cloverfield. For the most part, this movie cares more about giving the military more screen time than Godzilla. Talk about false advertising. There should have been an equal balance of screen time for both of them, or at least given Godzilla the majority of the screen time, considering, you know, he's the main focus. What also hurts this movie is that among all of its characters, Bryan Cranston's character is the only likable one of the bunch. He also gets the short end of the stick, along with Godzilla. This movie tosses him aside and instead decides to focus on his boring douchebag son. Not only did white Americans dominate and suck the fun out of The Last Airbender, they did the same thing in this Godzilla reboot. Sure, this movie has some good visuals, and Bryan Cranston's character is likable, but that's all this movie does right. Based on its flaws, I think it's best to skip this trash and watch Godzilla's earlier movies. I recommend all of them except for the 1998 film starring Matthew Broderick. Anywho guys, thanks for watching, I hope that you enjoyed, and as always, like, share, and have a nice day.
Once upon a time